After the botched Afghanistan evacuation, there were several parliamentary committees that studied the issue. And there's actually a major committee study that was released in the wake of the Afghanistan evacuation. And one of the key recommendations was that the government urgently come up with a plan to deal with situations exactly what we're seeing in Sudan right now, where we have an emergent issue, a big need to get Canadians out in a quick, short period of time. And everything that we had heard from the government after that is like, don't worry, we've got it. Well, clearly today that wasn't the case. And it really worries me that we have Canadians who are stuck there, who've been told there is no hope. And to me, it just shows a government that really doesn't care about either bolstering our military to the point where they can respond, or just having a plan to address this. I mean, in the Immigration Committee right now, we're dealing with a senator who, during the Afghan evacuation, may have issued inauthentic facilitation letters to get people out of the country. To me, when I woke up and I saw the news about Sudan, I'm like, they've learned nothing. And the government needs to be held to account for that. This is not, in a world that is so geopolitically unstable, the government should have responded to what happened with Afghanistan, not just with a hope and a prayer, but with a real solid plan. And now we've got people's lives at risk.
What would you like to see them do? I know they haven't ruled out some sort of evacuation, but it sounds like it's unlikely.
Well, that's the point, right? Is the government, we have a fresh example of the fact that the government did not have a plan in this situation. I'm an opposition member. I'm not a government member. We stood up and said, in policy, you need to come up with a plan. What I'd like them to do is show where that plan was. Clearly, it's not there. So, certainly I think all opposition members will be holding the government to account on this. But as somebody who's been working on this area of policy for years now, I don't want to use the word shocking. It's just how can the government keep putting Canadians at risk when they know that there are deteriorating geopolitical situations around the world? They had a massive failure as recently as 2 years ago and seem to have learned nothing. So, it's incumbent upon them to show Canadians what they've learned and actually address the safety of Canadians there. Thank you.
I don't know if you heard the testimony at committee this morning, but you had a variety of athletes saying, we have come here time and time again. We cry. We do not understand what more it is going to take to get a public inquiry into the state of sport. What is your response to them?
Well, first of all, I want to thank them for participating in those studies that both committees are doing. Their courage is unbelievable, and I really thank them for sharing their stories. I have said when I testified in front of the Status of Women's Committee that it was not a matter of if we were going to do something, an investigation. It was a matter of what and how. I am currently working on those questions. My goal is to have an environment that sport participants can testify and share their experiences and their recommendations in a safe and trauma-informed way, and that we come out of a process that will give us recommendations on how to improve the sport system at all levels, because if we want to better protect the children and our national athletes, we need to know what's happening and how we can improve the sport system, not only at the federal level, but also in the province and the territories and the community level.
One of the witnesses said today that for every moment, every day that the government doesn't call, not an investigation, but a national public inquiry, more and more children are going to be hurt. How do you respond to her?
Well, we have already heard a lot of testimonies. We know that there are problems at many levels. We are working also on changing a lot of aspects in the sport system. We've heard about governance, for example. We've heard about some issues with the finances, with also conflict of interests at different levels. So these are all things that we can improve very quickly. We're going to announce it soon. I've been working on this for a year. Now, we need to assess where we're at right now in the sports system and how we move forward with to improve it at all levels, because one of the things that we've heard about abuse and maltreatment is that the Universal Code of Conduct is unfortunately not applied by local organizations, by provinces and territories. So better alignment throughout the sport system is a key to changing that.
Je vais vous donner un petit en français là-dessus, mais avant, I just want to be clear. Why aren't you saying yes to an inquiry? I know you're saying we're looking at it, we're considering how to do this, but they're saying we don't need an investigation, we need an inquiry immediately. So why can't that happen?
When I'm ready to announce the process that we're going to put in place, I will come back and explain the process and how it will work and why we chose that process. But like I said, the goal is to have a trauma-informed context and also to be able to address the systemic issues within the sports system and have recommendations around that. This is the first and foremost, this should be the goal of whatever we do.
C'est pas une question de si on va agir, c'est une question de comment. Mais ça veut dire quoi concrètement? Parce que est-ce que ça veut dire, ça sous-entend que peut-être une enquête publique, c'est peut-être pas la bonne façon? Est-ce que c'est ça que vous voulez dire?
Quand je vais être prête à annoncer exactement le format de ces consultations-là, du dialogue, de comment tout ça va se dérouler, je vais expliquer les tenants et aboutissants et pourquoi on a choisi un processus plutôt qu'un autre. Mais je rappelle les priorités qu'on a, c'est d'abord d'avoir un environnement qui est informé sur les traumatismes, qui est sécuritaire pour les gens qui souhaitent venir témoigner. Ça, c'est mon premier objectif. Puis on sait que les processus judiciaires, c'est pas souvent le cas. Donc ça, c'est une des préoccupations puis des choses qu'on considère. L'autre chose, c'est que le but de faire une enquête ou une étude sur ce qui se passe dans le monde du sport, c'est de sortir de là avec des recommandations qui vont nous permettre d'améliorer le système sportif à tous les niveaux. Parce que, comme vous le savez, du côté fédéral, on est responsable au niveau national de nos équipes nationales, mais si on veut mieux protéger les enfants, il faut aller voir ce qui se passe dans le sport communautaire, puis il faut que les provinces et les territoires soient impliqués aussi dans le processus.
Là, on parle de quelle rapidité? Là? Parce que ça traîne. À quelle rapidité? Avant l'été?
Dès que je vais être prête, je vais revenir. Et le but, c'est d'aller rapidement, bien évidemment, mais de le faire correctement. J'ai aussi beaucoup de respect pour le travail que mes collègues font dans les deux comités parlementaires, puis j'attends encore les recommandations et les rapports. Mais ceci dit, ça ne nous empêche pas de continuer à travailler. Je sais que c'est une priorité, puis on fait le plus rapidement possible, mais le mieux. Puis dès que je vais être prêt, je vais revenir.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. Un échéancier.